Welcome to the Meant for More Mindset podcast. I'm Yar. As a peak performance coach and lifestyle architect, I help women who are ready to reach their next level, eliminate negative self-talk and break through what's been holding them back so they can have clarity, confidence and prosperity in their career and lifestyle. This podcast is to empower you with a Meant for More mindset and help you reach your next level so you can uncover your purpose, reclaim your power and reach your potential. This means no longer living by default but dreaming big and pushing yourself to be, do and have more. I want everyone to know that change is possible, that you are not alone, and there is an alternative way forward. Because when you change your mind, it will change your life. Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Meant for More Mindset with me, Yar, and I have the amazing Lolita with me today. Lolita, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
All right, I am Lolita. I'm a mum of two boys. Feeling very blessed about that they chose me. These two souls chose me as the mum. Never in a million years. I'm also the owner of an all organic, plant powered hair brand, restorative hair brand, I should say, because it helps against hair loss, thinning, and all of that. Hair brand called Umthi, inspired by my own hair loss that I suffered due to medication. I had medicine-induced alopecia and was frustrated of all the chemicals that were in ingredients, and also ingredients that weren't meant for, which I found out that weren't meant for my type of hair, our type of Afro hair. So I went on it own and started this brand and used up basically just my knowledge of formulating, and I did an aromatherapy course many moons ago as well. So it all came together. And plus, I grew up with my mum used to make a herbal medicine as well for us. So that's where it all came together. And it's been instrumental of growing my hair back and wanted to share it with the world.
So I've got lots of questions, but before I do want to ask, what's an interesting thing about you that most people don't know?
Oh, well, when most people don't know, I grew up in South Africa in the apartheid years. There was 4 different schooling systems for dealt with the segregation of the 3 sort of main groups: your Africans, your blacks, your whites, coloreds, and then Indians. And I went to 3 of those different schooling systems. Also carrying in mind it was illegal for being one race and going into another schooling system. So that's one thing that most people don't know, that I've been through the Bantu education, the colored education, and the white education in South Africa.
That's amazing. I need to ask now, how was that possible for you to go through all 3?
How is it possible? Oh, I have to delve deep into my history of who I am and stuff, which is too long to explain for another day.
Okay.
So I started off, my mum is Xhosa, so I started off in the Bantu education, and completely different the schooling, what they prescribed for the schools as well, because they had to adhere to their whole apartheid system where suppressed, and the blacks were the worker bees, so to say. So education wasn't, it was given, but it was on such substantial. I remember writing on a chalk, having a chalk and a chalkboard, and having to wipe everything down after the lesson because that's the only thing that you use. And came to realize when I went into the color system, oh my God, I had a pencil and a pen. What a privilege. And textbooks, where we had to share textbooks and the Bantu education. And then went to the 3rd education system, which was just a breeze. Yeah, I had a swimming pool at school. I had tennis courts, which were unheard of in the others, the other 2 schooling systems. So that's just a brief of, a little bit of background of where I come from and, what motivates me.
Wow.
So and what keeps me driving.
That's amazing. Going back to the is it
Umthi? So it's pronounced Umthi. So like a yogi and with a short T. So the H is silent. So
Oh, okay.
Umthi, even though it's pronounced Umthi.
And what does it mean?
Umthi means tree in Xhosa. So that was a nod to my heritage and where I was the most happiest.
Oh, that's amazing.
Was in nature and around trees and stuff. So yes. So that's
Oh.
why I called it
And
Umthi.
and you mentioned that you started on your journey because you suffered from alopecia, and then you realized that medically induced alopecia, and you realized that as a result of that, then you realized that it was all the chemicals that you found in hair products that are generic for everybody's hair, which isn't really for everybody's hair. So,
Mm-hmm.
what led you on that journey? Like, what to actually pursue? Because some people would have just cried about their hair loss and just kept it moving.
Yes, I did have those tears. I
Mm.
had, especially when you wake up and there's hair everywhere, or you touch your hair and your hair is just falling, and it's like, and of course our black hair, because it's round and circular, it acts in a different way, especially if wind on the floor, thinking it's a spider going across the floor. It's like, oh no, it's just my hair.
Uh,
So it's one, yes, and so yeah, I had the tears, and then when you're done, it's just like, okay, how can I resolve this? Because it wasn't getting any better. I was trying to use products on the market, and it was just like, but my situation wasn't improving.
mm,
In some cases, it was getting worse. So I had these bold patches, and they felt tender and sore as well, where it was certain stages, when your skin just feels spongy. And
mm,
I knew that, yeah, nothing. Started reading the ingredients, like, this is not going to help me. It's not healing and stuff. And I needed something that was going to heal my scalp, firstly, because I know that's where the root problem was, where my roots of my hairs, and that's the bits that I love. But my strands were also so dry, so it wasn't absorbing as much moisture. I was spritzing water like there's no tomorrow in my hair twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, and yeah, nothing. And yeah, out of that sheer frustration, also looking deeper into what was in the products, and it was just like, oh my word, I am putting toxins, firstly, into my hair. I'm putting hormonal disrupting ingredients. I'm going to go through menopause. I've just given birth. I'm going through menopause one day soon. And we know, especially in menopause, it highlights the function of our endocrine system when there's a disruption or a decline in certain hormones, what the effects is. Now, imagine if you're putting products that's constantly disrupting that beautiful flow of, as I call it, the endocrine dance, things will start going wrong with long-term use. And as we know, some proofs is coming over about many of the hormonal disrupting ingredients, which are hormonal cancers like our prostate cancers and our breast cancers and stuff that are on the rise. So I wanted something that was clean, and also realizing that black hair do not need plastics. Our hair is dry, and by plastics I mean microplastics. I call it liquid plastics because many people think of microplastic as being the ones that you can feel and stuff. These are flowy, but it's like your I know silicones is one of them as well. And I know, and there's the part that people go, but we need silicones for our hair. I think, but it's just like, but we're not using. You can't get it rid of on our hair, so it's starving our hair cuticles. So yeah, I just didn't want it to be part of that. And also, I didn't want it to be part of a product that goes down the drain and killing our environment.
mm,
So I wanted something that was clean for me and also being kind to our environment, because we do need to be mindful. There's no planet B, and we only got one planet. So I wanted something that was sustainable. And because so many things with the liquid plastics. Sorry, I'll go off on a rant. I'm so passionate about these things that I don't even know where to start. So, for instance, liquid plastics, microplastics, makes part of the plastic soup in our oceans because our sewage system cannot break it down. So it goes back into our environment, and it's probably in our drinking water as well. So next time I want people to think, when, for the sake of beauty, are we killing ourselves and our oceans and our marine life? So.
And so how did you manage to grow your hair back? Because to go from a place where you're losing it to now it's, well, I've seen it in real life.
It's thriving. I know. I didn't know you were going to do a live recording. Otherwise, I would. My hair is mostly in that's when I'm at home. So it's in twist. So few things. To grow your hair is a task of its own, but it is quite easy once you get into it. It's all about being consistent. Firstly, being consistent in washing, and also knowing that the most hydration that you get for your hair to last me for the week is on my wash day. So I take the effort to really just sit under the water, wash my hair properly, rinse everything out, and just get as much moisture into the hair as possible on that day, so that I don't need to constantly hydrate or moisturize during the week. That's one. Secondly is keeping a scalp that is clean, and also using ingredients that goes with our hair instead of against our hair. So I've created these products that basically, I use loads of herbs in there that are restorative herbs. So just to restore our scalp, get rid of the dead skin cells, let our cuticles breathe again. And also, once your scalp bio is healthy, your hair starts growing out healthier. But also maintaining the length of the hair that's already there. So doing little things like not using my body towels to dry my hair, because so much friction and so much damage can happen with it. And also treating my hair with kindness and for what it is. Afro hair is one of the most fragile. And if we treat it with care and gentleness, it thrives, because you're not breaking it or creating opportunities for it to be damaged and to break further on down the line. Like little things, like, for instance, on wash day, I make sure that I file my nails, because even my nails can snag my hair. And those are points of breakage that I'm creating, or I'm creating breakage. Making sure that whenever I'm wearing wool stuff, especially chunky wool, that my hair's up and not down. A zipper at the back of your... It's little things that I came to find out. It's just like my hair is so fragile that I need to stay away from all this thing. Even a zipper at the back of your thing can sometimes just hook at the back of your hair.
Yeah, it does.
And causes breakage. Oh, Velcros, man, stay away from that stuff. Velcro in caps. Come across it. I got 2 boys, and trying to get a Velcro cap out of their hair is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just little things. Just treating your hair strands as if they're the most fragile things, and it will love you for it, and it will thrive and grow.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, because as you know, with most people with Afro hair, we weren't taught that necessarily growing up. It was kind of whatever we needed to do to make our hair work to whatever it was that oftentimes our parents were trying to make. So whether it was pulling our hair violently at times when they were doing it, or relaxing it when you're still young, when you're still a child. How have you found the transition from learning to love your hair, especially with your clients, for example, where they're learning to love their hair and treat their hair with more kindness, and as a result, self-care as well? Have you found that with your clients? Have they been able to take that on?
Some of them have been. And I think as well, it's education. I've come to realize, with, especially last year, doing all these pop-ups and coming, being one-on-one with people, just talking about their hair and their struggles. And it is misinformation, and also learned or taught, I would say. We were taught to think that our hair is the toughest, the most hardest of it, and it's not. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's where our actually people with the most hardiest are our Asian counterparts because beautifully round, and it's even when you try and break the hair strand, it doesn't snap as quickly as our black hair strands would. Even just taking a strand, or when you comb, we lose our hair. We lose about 100 hairs a day. So taking one of those that has come out and try and snap it, and you'll see how easily that snaps. So once you understand that snap, you'll understand how gentle you need to be with your hair.
Yeah. Oh, and so I guess it's because it's an act of self-love. I guess you're teaching people self-love, and how are people taking that on from, because it can be psychological, can't it? Because it's that
It
thing
is
of where,
psychological.
where you're not maybe giving to yourself first. So now being in a position where actually I've got to really treat my wash days with care and take my time with them, as opposed to, okay, I'm just gonna wash my hair as quickly as possible, because we were taught that it was an arduous task, weren't we?
Mm.
So how do you then relay that to your clients and the people you work with? And also, how was your own journey with that?
My own journey, it was a journey of discovery,
Mm.
actually, and also a journey of self-love.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to love my hair for what it is and what it can and what it cannot do
Mm-hmm.
as well. I know that my hair will never be silky smooth, like looking like um a horse's hair. That's not me. Will never happen, even with relaxer. It will never. It doesn't last. And but then again, I love my texture so much. Even when I'm blow drying my hair, I don't fully blow dry it because I like the texture of
Yeah.
it. Because then I can do so much more because I've got volume, I've got everything in there instead of having the sleek sort of bone straight hair. And take your time, make it a self-care day. I do my hair on a Saturday. That's when my two boys plays do their football training and dad takes them. So it's my time at home by myself. So sometimes I would, if it's 11 o'clock in the morning, I would pour myself a glass of wine just to make it's my time. It's my special sort of, and that's how I came to see it. We're just making that time, and especially as a busy mum, we always feel guilty about making that time. So I'm becoming quite selfish in that way, that it's my time. It's me and my hair. And no matter what you guys say, this is my hair time. And I started off as what helped me quite a bit to keep with the consistency of things. I started off with just printing out a calendar, a blank calendar, and writing down, okay, every 7 days, this is wash days. This is the days that I'm moisturizing. This is the days that I'm oiling. And that's so that I could get into a routine. And once that routine was established, where now I can actually feel my hair will tell me, hey, I need wash today without even knowing what time of the week it is. So it becomes, you sort of become in tune with your hair and your hair. And also doing your own hair, you discover what it needs and when it needs it.
Mm.
So I'm meeting a whole lot of women, and the only time that they wash their hair is when they go to a hairdresser.
Mm.
Firstly, I cannot afford a weekly hairdresser.
Yeah.
Which came to me, so they're washing their hair less because it's costly, and especially in these times to be at the hairdressers. I mean, they do amazing stuff, but you never learn what your hair type is, or how to deal with your own hair, or how your hair feels with certain products, because you only touch your hair at the final once everything is done in a hairdresser. So you don't feel how your hair feels when it's hydrated, how your hair feels when it needs a little bit of moisture, or it needs a little bit of a deep conditioning and stuff. So it's learning that. And also, I think it's a journey. It's a journey for everyone, and it depends on how deep ingrained these beliefs are of your hair, and trying to debunk those.
Yeah.
How long that take, and it does. I remember when I did my first chop, and it's just like I'm no longer relaxing, and that's when I was pregnant with my first son. It's just like I can't. I used to call it crack. I can't put the crack on my hair because it's going to basically passes through to my fetus. And it's just like, no, he had nothing to do with my own disbelief in this moment. And it was also essential because I knew my children were going to have curly hair and I wanted them to love their hair.
Yeah. Oh, that's powerful.
So, so I did my first chop about 15 years ago.
Wow.
And never looked back. And that's when this alopecia set in, was just like, oh, mama, but I'm so good to my hair. What's going on? We've been through this painful part of self-acceptance, accepting my hair. And especially coming from South Africa, hair was even political. It wasn't.
Wow.
We weren't indoctrinated just with the Western looks. It was also political.
Wow.
Where there was pencil testing as well. So I came through that culture and those pains where my hair was never enough. So there's texturism throughout each family where you had the good hair. There's I'm going to throw a little bit of South African terms in here. So krus were basically my type of hair. Then you have krullen, which is sort of the looser curls, acceptable. And then you have gladare, which is your hair can go straight and swish around. And those were the three that you have to.
Wow.
And in some families, South Africa being such a mismatch, in some family you have all three of them.
Wow.
So now imagine the texturism that the one suffered, which happened to be in my case, where I suffered, where basically it was always hard to do my hair. It took longer, even though it didn't really take longer, because for my other family members to create their looks and shine, they had to blow dry, they had to do all of those other things. But it was always an issue because my hair needed longer time in the detangling phase.
Wow. Wow.
So
that's so amazing, and it's kind of like even though you grew up in South Africa and I grew up very much in London, it's still that same kind of that mentality of there's something wrong with your hair because it's coarse, or it's and there's not actually nothing wrong with your hair.
There's nothing wrong with my hair, and it took me 40 odd years to realize there's nothing wrong with my hair. There is nothing wrong with my hair. Just because you were having a bad day or you were didn't feel like doing my hair.
Yeah.
Somebody else projected those things onto me. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
It was somebody else's projections on me.
So true. And it's so funny that you say that, because my hairdresser now, she loves hair, and she loves all types of hair. And it makes such a difference when she does my hair, as in there's so much love and so much care that goes into it. I wouldn't even describe her as a hair stylist. would describe her as an artist, because she literally does, like, you literally send her a picture and she shows you, and you show her the picture and you're like, Nadia, I want this. And she's like, okay. And she sits there and she works out, and she says, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And it makes such a difference when you feel that love coming into your hair, because it literally is pouring into you.
It's so important.
Yeah. From the
it's
head.
so important. Oh my word. I'm going back to my African roots again. In Africa, your hairdresser was highly regarded because it's the person that was working with your spiritual, hair was seen as a spiritual conduit. So it has to be a person of upstanding to be working with your hair.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you've spoken about your journey. What's something that you wish you knew at the start of your journey that you think would have really helped you?
Having the right products and tools. Actually, it's easy to look after my hair. I don't know where I thought that it was hard. No, it's not. And I have, and people go on about a whole day wash day. Mine isn't. Mine is 2 hours tops.
Yeah, mine too now.
Yes. And it's just like right equipment, right ingredients in your products, and look at this.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, but before it used to be, and I don't know what it, and psychologically, I don't know what it is, because before it used to feel like a whole day.
It used to feel like a whole day. It used to basically feel like you on your hair the whole day.
Yeah. And now I can even break it up into parts of the day where it's just like, okay, I've got to wash my hair, and then once it's washed, I'm just going to put like castor oil through it. Once I've put castor oil through it, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll do the styling. And whereas before it was just kind of like, oh my God, I've got to wash my hair. Okay. It's almost like you're building yourself up.
Anxiety. You suffer before you wash your hair.
Yeah. And now it's just like, and you know what I love the most? It's like when you get the comb, and again, just how the psychology of it all can change how you think. Because now, when I used to comb through my hair, I said, "Oh gosh, I've got to get my hand through the comb through my hair." Whereas now, it's just, I love when I comb through and then the curls spring back.
Yes, it is. It's like amazing. That's when I know it's like, yes, it is healthy.
Yeah. So you mentioned having the right tools. What other resources and tools have helped you along the way in terms of your yourself and your hair journey?
My fingers
Mm-hmm.
are literally my tools for my hair, and my wooden combs. I changed away from plastic combs because of the charges of it. My hair's a negative charge. Wooden comb is negative, so easier to comb through for our hair. With plastic, I was constantly tugging and pulling, and my hair never used to feel in one smooth straight. It was always like pulling and tugging, which caused so much damage now looking back. And what else did I change? Oh, changing away from normal terry towels and using a microfiber or bamboo towel, or even a t-shirt if you don't have any of those. And discovering leave-in conditioner as a moisturizer during the week, where I literally moisturize halfway during the week. In the beginning, when my hair was at its illest, I would say, when it was really ill, I used to moisturize every day to every other day until I discovered when my hair was starting to get then retain the moisture. And remember, when damage is done to our hair is sometimes over a long process. So when you can see the damage, and also to revert back to a healthier state also takes time. And that's what people don't understand. Everybody wants to be sold this dream of a overnight repair.
Yeah.
Or overnight miracle.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about basically just being consistent and giving it time to grow. And remember, I'll get so angry when I go into YouTube and it's just like, oh, grow your hair 2 inches overnight.
Yeah, I think the latest one is rose water. If you use rose water, your hair will grow.
Our hair, our hair's constantly growing. It's how we're maintaining what's there and what's coming through. And overnight, there's no overnight cures. Because if you can do that, then we can grow arms back and other things.
It's true. It's true. Because I remember when coconut oil used to be it, and I tried the coconut oil once, and it literally just slid off my hair. And I was like, coconut oil is not for me. My hair does not retain it. It does not absorb it. It literally just slid off my hair. It's good for my skin, but for my hair, no.
I didn't. Coconut oil doesn't also agree with me either. It gives me a stinky, itchy head. Literally, I'll put it on today, and tomorrow I'll be like, oh my God.
Wow.
So coconut and I are not friends. And it also doesn't soften my hair. It makes it crunchy.
Yes. Exactly.
That's my experience with coconut, and I've tried to use it over and over, and it's just like, but people say it's good for you.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's what I love about you when you speak about your journey is the whole idea of really getting to know your hair and figuring out what works best for you, because it, like you say, it really is a journey of getting to know your hair. So in terms of getting to know your hair, what do you think works best in, so if you were trying to advise somebody like a prospective client, really, in terms of getting to know their hair best, how would you tell them to do it?
Start by washing your own hair.
Mm.
Start by washing your own hair and learning how to, to deal with your hair on those days and throughout, and moisturizing your hair during the week. Because some many of our clients would go to the hairdresser, have their hair in, say for instance, in, what's the extension? Sorry, I've got a menopausal braid. No, the extensions with the hair, box braids or something like that, in braids with the synthetic materials and stuff, and literally not touch the hair, just oil the hair and not touch the hair for a month or 2 months. And it's just like, no. And you've had this, you can see the growth, but you're not retaining it. So when you take it out, you also take it out wrongly, and you end up losing more hair than the growth that you had, and it's staying stagnant at the same place.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's one of them.
I'm looking down because I've done that in the past.
So I don't do, and also don't do extensions, the hair braiding over and over. Even when people go, oh yeah, but I did it for 4 weeks, I took 2 weeks break and then put it on again. That's not a break. Your hair needs a little bit more than that.
Wow.
Because remember, the braids themselves are synthetic, and remember that our hair is so fragile. So you got this long braids in there, which is heavy, pulling constantly. Hence many the traction alopecia women that which is sad in itself, because it's self-induced. In many cases, the wigs, the glue, imagine pulling that glue, because that glue is keeping all that hair onto your hair and having to take it off. I don't know. I don't do any of those practices. I never done, because also I've never worn a wig. I know this is very controversial. Never worn a wig because it doesn't make me feel like my authentic self.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've worn a wig, but I've always worn a wig with a fringe because I was always afraid of traction alopecia.
Yeah.
So with the thing, Bob, then you can't see the line, and because you then can't see the line, it then allows me to.
It allows you to hide it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So never worn a wig. I don't wear extensions either. I think I've worn extensions once or twice in my life to a festival.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just how we grew up with, because firstly, there was no money to buy these things, and secondly, it was always South African people are cruel sometimes. People were keen on telling you, what are you trying to be? Yeah. What's this? And they would literally point it out. What's this? That's not your hair.
It's so funny that you should say that, because I really love South Africans for their honesty. I love it. I have a South African friend, and she's very straight, very, very, very straight. And I know I've even taken to watching. There's a South African soap. It's about to end. It's called The River. I literally just found it on. I think I found it on YouTube one day, and it had subtitles. It's like, oh my god, okay. And I literally have just really just enjoyed it. And because of that, I think over the pandemic, I don't even know how it happened, but I ended up going down a rabbit hole of learning so much about like different, especially the music scene, like different cultures, and there's a lady that is it Kani Mbao?
Yes.
Yeah. So I learned about all about her, and just like all the different things, and I just love the honesty that South Africans have. Like whatever it is they're doing, good or bad, this is me, and I really love that, the authenticity, especially as Black people, because oftentimes as Black people, we're taught to kind of cower and kind of be, but South Africans, I don't find them like that. They're very much, I'm me, this is me, take it or leave it, this is who I am.
I think it's because of the struggle we fought for so many years. It's when I tell my children about my childhood, they can't believe that things like this were happening in this day and age. And it's just like, yeah, but mommy went through it. It's like, are you 100? Like, no. And I think, yeah, because you fought so hard for that freedom. So it's only right to embrace it.
Yeah,
And
sure.
to take it, because people had died. Many had died. Many had lost their lives. Many had lost family members who had disappeared and never came back. So yes, it's all about embracing for what we fought for.
Yeah.
People were displaced from their houses in exile and running for their lives. And yeah, also the harsh treatment in jail for even those that are still alive, who had treatment in jails, the interrogation systems and stuff that they had on them. So I just feel, for me, it makes me proud for a South African go, wear that hair, man. It's yours. You own it. Wear the shade of your color of your skin, because people had died for it. People had died for you to just be and be seen by yourself. Mostly because sometimes we don't see ourselves.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. So off the back of that, I want to ask, what is your greatest fear?
Well, my greatest fear is still of failing.
Really?
Greatest fear, yeah, is failing. I think, and also putting myself out there.
Yeah.
I'm scared of rejection.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are all, I guess, comes back from the traumas, childhood traumas, growing up in the country that I done. That, yeah, it's a scary bit. It's a scary bit to put myself out there. But as I said earlier, beforehand, as we spoke, it's my year of putting myself out there unapologetically, and also just owning, as I said to myself, as much as I'm saying that people had died, I'm saying that to myself as well.
Yeah.
People had died for my freedom, died for the color of my skin. And yeah, so I need to take ownership and appreciate and also acknowledge in pushing myself out of the boundaries of this self-belief. And when I say self-belief, it's not necessarily true, is what I've taught myself to be true. The lie that I told myself to be true. And yeah, so it is coming out of the shadows.
Amazing. So conversely, what excites you the most about the next 12 months?
Oh, the unknown. As scary and exciting as it is, and just judging from the previous year how the business had been, I'm looking forward to whatever unfolds.
That's amazing.
I'm looking forward to launching also my children's hair range. Yeah, yes.
I'm excited for you.
Yes. And just growing the range, and hopefully getting more speaking opportunities, and just, yeah, telling my truth.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And what I'd like to ask you next is, as a woman, you do a lot. So you run your own business and you're a mum of 2. How do you fit it all in? And do you actually?
It's a juggle. It is literally, it's like spinning plates. And trying to keep those plates all spinning at the same time. Sometimes I'm unsuccessful. Sometimes I bump into the one plate. Sometimes I neglect the one plate. But always reminding myself to go back and rotate it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been through, especially last year was quite a tough time trying to find that balance being a mum, because firstly, I'm a mum to my 2 boys, and I've always been for the last 13 years to them. So it's unfair to just pull myself completely from them. So even though my husband has taken more onto the role since I'm now becoming the entrepreneur.
Love it.
That was hard. That was hard to just keep those plates spinning. But I do go back and do make special time for my children where it's just like phone off. It's just us and just
Mm.
making that time. So I know where it was before, it was all quantity.
Mm.
Now I'm more about quality.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and just having that one-on-one time because it's also they're two siblings and they behave differently in each other's company in front of me. So when you take them out, they don't need that. There's
yeah,
not that internal competition to be heard, to be, oh, this one is doing that. So you get more of one-on-one and getting, and I love that touching back. When children are small, when they first release themselves, when they first start walking, they'll always walk away, look where you are, just
yeah,
for their confirmation. Oh, you're still there, and back. That's where I am at the moment. I'm literally, and then having to come back and touch back onto them, and that's what's keeping me going. And I'm hoping, if there was a rule book, I would know. But I'm hoping that I'm doing the right thing.
yeah. I'm sure you are. I'm really sure that you are. Um, so, what advice would you give to a woman like yourself who's gone to the next level but isn't sure where to start? So, somebody who wants to go to the next level but isn't sure where to start.
If you can dream it, do it.
Mm,
Um, I keep reminding myself of famous as Johannes Gute, that basically said, if you can dream, there's magic in starting things.
mm,
The magic can be anything from you feeling satisfied, going, oh my God, I can't believe I've done that. I gave myself so much grief that I would never be able to be at this point but yeah, and just go with the ride and just be brave and just do it because we've been told to not do things. And what's the worst that could happen? Failure is a learning experience.
mm. So, off
You'll
the
learn
back of
some,
no,
you'll
sorry,
learn.
what you can say?
So even if you fail, you'll learn something from it
Yeah, it's true.
and you'll be so much richer for it and wiser.
So, my next question then is, what has been your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure,
Mm,
I trust too quickly or
mm,
I trust completely. And especially in business, also realizing that people are just out there to just sell you something.
mm,
And because I'm vibrating from a moment of trust, I'm trusting everyone until you do something wrong to me. So there has been where basically where you ask the right questions to the people and they still not telling you the truth until you sign on the dotted line and go, but this is not what was promised to me. So yeah, those are some of my biggest mistakes and regrets. And nowadays, I'll ask and make sure that I've asked that question 3 times if I have to. And it's also finding that courage to do it because it's like, even though I'm asking for service from you, it feels like you're doing me a favor.
yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, but I need to advocate for myself.
That's it. That's the power of sales, isn't it? Where somebody's selling you something that you may not even need, and you're just kind of like, yeah, but I want to make sure that I don't upset them. It's like, doesn't
Yes.
matter. Just ask them the question.
And those were my biggest mistakes in the
Mm.
thing. Yeah, I think those were
Oh,
actually that
cool.
I've learned from. So at least I've learned that I ask, even if you have to ask the question 3 times.
It's true. It is very no. That's very true. I shouldn't laugh. It's very true. Very very true. She says laughing, but it's very true.
It is true,
Um,
actually. I get this
um,
nervous laughter as well.
so, if you could step in my shoes, is there a question that you would like me to ask you that I haven't already?
Ooh. Would I ever believe that I would be here today if you
Would
had
you ever
told me
believe?
this 3 years ago
Would
before
you?
I started? No,
Wow. So,
no.
what's been the change?
The change is starting
Mm,
because otherwise I would have still been in that situation where still dreaming, still thinking, yeah, this is good. And that self-doubt and anxiety and yeah. And I just remember just one day going, I'm doing it. And didn't look back. And I'm glad I did, because there's been magical moments in this journey, and so much growth has come from it. And also getting to know myself. Because the thing is, an entrepreneur as well, you discover who you are, what your strength and what your true weaknesses is. You know, when you go for interviews, everybody's always asking, so what's your strength? What's your weaknesses? And you just blab a cool question. But in this case, you really learn what your strength and what your weaknesses are.
Wow.
It's no longer blabbing a question for the interview. So yeah,
That's so very true. So finally, what I want to ask you is, what gives you a meant for more mindset?
took me a long time, but damn well, I deserve this. I
Mm,
deserve more than what was given. So many sacrifices has gone before for me not to be deserving of this. And I have to remind myself that every day, actually,
so cool.
because I do wake up with this like, no, that's not. Because our biggest enemy, especially mine, is my mind, what
Mm,
it tells me.
yep, yep.
And I have to constantly overcome and looking at ways of listening to the negative thoughts in a different way. Where my negative thoughts about today was how nervous I was, that I literally was going to call you and go, no, 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 this is not happening. I'm having an anxiety attack. And yeah, and having to overcome that and going, okay, I'm going to take a huge glass of water, even if I'm just breathing. I was lying down on the floor breathing and just finding ways of coping mechanism
Mm,
when I'm feeling overwhelmed with the anxiety of doing something new.
yeah.
Because most of the time, once you sort of become a little bit, I wouldn't say efficient in it, but once you're in it, you come to realize it's just like, why did I put so much pressure beforehand and made it so unreachable
Mm,
or unattainable
mhm.
just by your mind? Where actually, while you're in it, it's actually isn't as bad as
Yeah.
how you made it out to be.
No, it never is. It never is. But we do it because I think it's our way of staying safe.
Mm,
But
thank you.
staying safe, it's good, but it's predictable and it's the same. And if you think about how you'd want your life to look 10 years from now, would you want it to look the same as it does right now? Obviously, your loved ones you'd want to still be in your life, but beyond that, what would you want? And it's when you start going after those things, I think that's when, and believe that you can have those things as well. That's
Yes.
when the real trajectory happens, I believe.
Is that the belief? Yeah,
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
believe in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Somebody, I know this is going off in a tantrum again, as you have noticed, I go off on things.
It's good.
I always ask what my dreams were as a child,
Mm,
and we didn't dream
mm,
because there was nothing to dream of.
wow.
The only dream that you can dream is who you're going to marry, which now I was never in that clouds. I could never dream about the white dress or any of those. Yeah, and because we grew up where there was no hope of where you become, even with your education, of what you could achieve. There was no seeing people of yourself in a reflection of going, oh, I can be a CEO, because that was never in the whole
Yeah,
darkness of apartheid and stuff.
yeah.
So dreaming, dreaming about sports, wanting to be a sportswoman, none of those were
Mm,
attainable or easily attainable. So we couldn't dream in those sense. So I'm learning to dream now.
that's amazing. And with that learning to dream, you're actually somebody else's dream. You're somebody else's inspiration. So that's amazing.
I'm learning to dream. And that made me so sad when I came to realize that realization.
Yeah. But you're doing it now. And that's the most important
Yeah.
thing. Because the fact that you've become aware of it and are changing it, because it's one thing to be aware, but it's another thing to be aware and make the change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
that's amazing. Lita, I want to acknowledge you, and I just want to acknowledge how powerful you are and how beyond all of your fears and your doubts, you push forward. Beyond your overwhelm, you push forward. Beyond anything that you fear that holds you back, you push forward and you look for ways not only to help yourself but to help others. Just, I mean, I was going to say sit down, but I've spoken with you a couple of times, and the information that you've given me about how to love and how to care for my hair has just been so amazing, and it's just been so. What I say, it's just so comforting, because it's that thing of, it is an act of self-love to take care of ourselves and our hair, especially Afro hair, because we were taught for so many years not to.
Yes.
And now to be in a position that you are to help others to just shine that light and love our hair for what it is and all that it can be, and just wear it as the glorious crowns we always were meant to wear it as, is just amazing. So I just want to say thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
You're very
so much
welcome.
for this opportunity to sit and share my story with you. Really,
Oh, you're
I'm
very
touched
welcome.
and I get emotional.
No, you're
That's the other
welcome.
bit. I get emotional. I'll cry and laugh.
It's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Do it all, because that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to feel our emotions. So thank you so very much. Before I let you go, though, I would like to ask you, how can our listeners connect with you online?
You can connect. I've got an e-commerce website called umthi.co.uk.
Yep.
Umthi, as I said, yogi short T, but spelled UMTHI. You can find us on Insta and Facebook by Umthi Beauty. And yes, and you can connect with us. Please do connect and spread the word as just wanting to give something that is clean for us and that help our hair, and also that is clean to our environment. So you don't need to feel guilty. It's all in recyclable packaging as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So guys, I'll also put that in the show notes for everybody. So Lolita, thank you so much again. And guys, that's it for this one. I shall see you in the next one. Please don't forget to like this video and podcast and share it and do all the amazing things so that we can spread the word about Lolita and Umthi all over the world. So thank you again, and we shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. For more about me and what I do, check out my website, nextlevelcoachinggroup.com, where you can also download my free Release Your Mindset Blocks guide. You can also follow me on Instagram at Next Level Coaching Group, or on Facebook at Next Level Lounge. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a rating and review. Thanks. See you on the next one.